Colin Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And they made what into a TV series? Earthworm Jim, Season 1, Episode 5, Conqueror Worm, written by Doug Langdale. We join Jim and Peter as they're about to be lowered into a vat of acid by Evil the cat. Oh my god, it's all over. Jim tries to find a solution using his Swedish army claw, but it's so complicated he can't find the right tool. This is again such a dumb joke because of course it's just a play on a Swiss army knife, which basically we don't know what that is, folks. It's something that was more prevalent when I was younger. And it was like a pen knife, which is a small thing that held a knife in it, but it also had like a corkscrew, a nail file, a pair of scissors, and they all pulled out of this one little device. I don't think those things are really that around or relevant these days, are they?
No.
Good thing though, his arm is free and he's able to use his gun. And that's basically how they saved themselves. So, on to the main story. Jim is visiting the Turlock Mall with Pia and the Hamsternator, who is doing a Arnold Schwarzenegger joke, obviously, but he's a hamster. Jim has shown the Hamsternator around, provided it stops trying to stuff everything in its cheeks because it's a fucking hamster. They visit numerous stores and hijinks occur, ending up in a copy place where the Hamsternator gets the idea of copying Jim. Okay then. The photo of Jim, because Jim has to get stuffed in it, which results in a photo of Jim really looking bad. He's squashed and wrong looking, and it ends up discarding in landfill. And obviously, we all know what happens when a copy picture ends up in landfill and gets exposed to toxic waste. Well, it transforms you into an evil clone, because that's what happens. And this is exactly what happens here, as we get an evil clone of Jim, who goes on an evil rampage, which our Jim hears about on the news. And obviously, Jim dismisses it until the video is shown, and he and Peter are stunned to see, oh, it's me. How's it me? That kind of thing. So you can kind of see where the comedy this one's coming. It's a classic story, evil clone, and it promises hijinks.
Yep.
However, because this show is mad, Jim believes he's actually got a split personality instead. And I was just like, God damn it.
Yeah,
So because he believes he's responsible for his crimes, he gives up his suit and willingly gives himself up and gets imprisoned. But it then reveals that he didn't actually expect himself to be in prison because he thought his good deeds will outweigh his bad deeds. I'm just like, oh my God, that's so stupid.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Oh yeah. His suit is taken away to a research lab as Jim sadly looks on, but he does make a friend, his fellow inmate, Walter. And this is Walter's quite fun.
Yeah.
Evil Jim is happy to see good Jim in prison and reveals his plans to take over the world, of course. Midpoint though, folks, are over to La Planete du Agua Arriba, where Bob is trying to motivate other fish, but he realizes the problem is he's the only smart one, basically. So he then sets about trying to educate them all, but it doesn't go well, leading to an atomic mutation, but that backfires when the super intelligent fish minions reveal that they're so smart now, they see Bob as the enemy and he must be destroyed. So I like the fact he made the fish so smart, they realize that Bob is evil and have to destroy him. And it's kind of like, yeah, that actually would happen, wouldn't it,
Yeah, those.
Back to Jim, who is struggling in prison as just a worm. Peter, meanwhile, slips into depression as he has no sidekicking to do, bearing his feelings to Snot. That's a funny scene. They've done this before where Jim kind of gets all depressed when he's no longer a sidekick.
Yep.
As for Evil Jim, he takes over the world really easily. And
Yep.
even the military are no match. And that's where this show makes me laugh, folks. And that's why I laugh. Because it's just like, oh yeah, and Evil Jim took over the world. And I was like, oh, all right. Okay, fair enough. Seeing this from his cell, Jim realizes that it was his evil twin all along. Yeah. Now he needs to escape, saying his goodbyes to Walter, then burying down to escape, right as Peter and Snot bust through his cell to rescue him. It takes Jim a few tries, but eventually he digs his way out to the research site where his suit is being held, as Peter and Snot also arrive there to rescue him from there. Happily, they are literally able, in like a comedy moment, to just walk in and get his suit. No one's protecting you, just walk in and get it. And Jim is ready to go, but it was a trap, and Evil Jim has his sidekicks hostage, resulting in Jim having to give up. It now all goes a bit James Bond as Evil Jim reveals he's the opposite in every way and wants to destroy what Jim loves the most. That's what it is. He's opposite. Now, I love
Obviously,
this because, of course, he's a copy. Evil taken. So he would be the opposite. So it wouldn't be that Jim wants to save the world, thinking he wants to take over. But really, what he wants to destroy is what Jim loves the most. Which you might be thinking, well, what does Jim love the most? The mall, apparently.
yes.
Okay, all right.
Brand.
But then, grossly, Jim is able to excrete worm slime, and that allows him to escape and rescue the others, and they head off after Evil Jim. Arriving just in time, Evil Jim and Good Jim do battle, and it's very silly, of course. But in the end, Good Jim wins, and Evil Jim is defeated with brain freeze. This is a call back to the start when they were visiting the mall and drank some cold ice drinks and got brain freeze.
Yep.
Evil Jim is put in prison and less than happy to meet Walter. So we haven't necessarily seen the last of Evil Jim.
Well, I mean, judging by the older previous episodes, where the fact that they keep like even small little cameos, people are still being introduced, which is always good. The fact that means that they can always come back and be used again. So
I hope so, because Evil Jim, what's fun about Evil Jim is that it's the same energy and lively voice acting as Jim himself. So we
yeah,
automatically get that, but from a more silly, evil side, you know? How does the episode end? With the cow landing on and destroying them all. So in the end, them all got destroyed anyway.
yeah,
Yeah, look, we're 5 episodes into season 1, and I think every episode is brilliant, is as good as the last. There's no ranking them. There's no like, oh, this is better than the other, because they're all great. I mean, obviously there'll be some that will probably be more funny or more enjoyable, but
yeah,
right now every episode is just so much fun. Like, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm not going to remember them long term outside of I knowing I enjoy it. I'm not going to remember the stories. I'm not going to remember, but I'll remember the characters and I'll remember how much fun I had. You know?
yeah, yeah.
It's episode 5 of season 1, Conquer a Worm. You got any thoughts you want to share with us? You know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.